Hi, my name is Zachary Lewis. I'm from Cal State Northridge. I'm graduating senior. And my question is about the work culture here at Blind. What's the environment like? Like, is this curtain always up? Is it always this quiet? Is there cackling throughout the day? And like, how do you guys like interact with each other to make it through at least a Monday?
Okay, I like that. So, you know what? It's very interesting. We're using a lot of different words. We're using the word character. And now you're talking about culture.
I think the word character is something that doesn't get entered too much in the space that we are in, you know, and right? I think.
I think so.
It's a kind of an old throwback kind of a word, you know?
It is.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. I think to me, character is, did you do what you say you're going to do? And that's just the bottom line. Did you do what you say you're going to do? So when we talk about making the customers happy and fulfilling the brand promise, just do what you say you're going to do, and then say what you're going to do. Those are two very simple things to do, and unfortunately, we don't do a great job there. Okay, and I'll tell you how. Let's break this down. I think Dave wants me to pull back to character, so I'm going to do it one more time. Hopefully this time I'll get it right. When you tell your clients you're going to design a logo for them, well, what does that look like? How many chances do I get to look at it? What's your process like? Are you first going to start with some words, or are you going to do a brand audit? What are you going to do? Are you going to do a user case study? You're going to do a cost analysis? What are you going to do? All you said is, I'm going to tell you where we end up. So the process of you working and being a creative human being is very opaque, like I can't see it. And what we want to do is we want to make it more visible, make it more transparent. So everything that I said to you before, so the logo is here. That's the ta-da, we're done. That's all you guys talk about. What you want to do is to break the logo down into finite and concrete steps. And I'm really a big believer in process, okay? That's why the show is called The Process, by the way, is a process is a repeatable formula that has predictable results. When I give you large sums of money, I don't want to like go to Las Vegas. I don't want that feeling. I want it to be, yeah, I get it. So when you guys talk about designing a logo, what might that process look like? When you're designing a logo, what are the steps necessary for you to make that logo? Everybody always says research, but research is a generic term. It's true. What are you researching? Is research for you or is it for the client? The client. Okay, so what are you researching?
Competition.
Okay, so you might say, you know, there's a competitive audit. That's what it's called in business terms, competitive. Hopefully I spelled that right, audit. Okay, competitive audit. And what are you going to do when you go and research the competitors?
Usually there'll be a trend between, like let's say I'm doing one for a bank, they're going to probably have something similar, maybe just like a typeface. And
okay, so we're going to do a bank logo.
Yes.
Is that what we're doing? Okay, you guys ever do this?
Wait, I'm not passionate about it.
That's okay.
Let's
you know what
do-
I'm passionate about?
What?
Solving my clients' problems,
Oh.
not fulfilling my own personal needs.
It's a bank.
All right? That's how you make bank? Okay? I mean, some of you guys, I don't want to get into this. You can watch this video another time. Some of you guys think you're an artist and you want to do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a designer. I solve people's problems, and they pay me good amounts of money to do that. So we have to change our mindset there. Okay, let's say we have to do a bank logo. So the first thing you do is you're going to do a competitive audit. Maybe, just maybe. What we might start off before that is we might want to look at what are the goals. What are the goals of why you want to make a new logo in the first place? Is it just because you want to look sexier? Maybe, but I don't think so. Maybe there was an issue with the logo that existed before because it's United, and now we need to change our image. We need to change our image. And maybe there's bad customer association, bad juju, if you will, associated with the old brand. We need to refresh it. Maybe it was because there's a change in ownership. You know, the children inherit the company, and they now want to say, we're new, we're fresh, we're vibrant, we have new ideas. We're letting the legacy of the past go. So we should start with, what are the business goals? Okay? So there's the business goals here. And I'm going to get into that, but there's a book that you can read about that. It's called Creative Strategy, The Business of Design. And look at it. What are business goals? Okay? You guys ever talk about this in class? What are the goals of the business? Probably not that deep. I'm pretty sure of it. I've been to your schools before. Not yours specifically, but schools.
Flip it around about when he talked about the personal brand. What did we do first? Before the school started.
We met to
And then what?
talk about our goals for that.
So our goals in an audit, right?
Yeah.
So
So business goals. Somebody tell me what a business goal is then. I'll test you right now. Zach, you were like all smiling. Yeah, we talk about that. Hand him the mic. Hand him the hot mic.
Well,
Lay it on me, brother.
we did like a rebranding as a project, and I had 24-hour fitness and like a business school. As I was doing my research, I know we hate to use that word, but it was like they're kind of known as like the cheap alternative, maybe not so clean, like place to be. And so when you look at a goal, you want to resurface a new image when you think of 24-hour fitness. So it's like changing everything that the audience knows of them to be true and sort of doing a refresh on that is like, that's a goal. A goal would be like a refresh or a clean slate, if you will.
Is that a business goal?
Um,
Okay, I'll tell you why. And this is where I like concise, clear, precise words. If it's just a refresh, just change the logo. Mission accomplished. You're done. What do businesses want to do? Go ahead. Hand the mic. Hand the mic. So you see, like you told me a whole story, which was good, but you still didn't get to the business goal. What's a business goal?
So I'll use Zach's story.
No more stories. I love stories, but I'm pressed for time. Give me a business goal. And don't do the magic wand. Just keep it right there.
Identify a new target market.
That's not a business goal.
Money. To make money.
Okay, revenue, right?
Revenue.
It's called revenue. Make more money, right? Increase revenue. What else?
To new product market, new product development. So if they have if they have a new look, then they're appealing to a different target market, and they're
Okay,
increasing
appeal
their
to new
revenue.
market. Okay, it's called repositioning.
Okay.
Repositioning, okay?
Pass on the mic.
And there could be a goal of building awareness. Okay, and they all make sense. They're all tied together. You see that? We need to let people know the bank, this ain't your old bank. We do things differently. We're going to trade in Bitcoin, whatever it is. So we need to run an awareness campaign so people know what we're doing. And we used to be into the old like gold bullions or whatever it is, and we're going to move it to repositioning. We're with the digital currency, and by doing that, we need to attract more customers so that they'll spend more money or deposit more money, whatever it is, or borrow more money, and that's going to increase revenue. These are business goals, and it doesn't matter what business you're in, chances are these are their goals. So this is pretty generic. You see how this is a repeatable formula, a process? Okay, so we're getting somewhere. You guys understand the difference? So you see like how much of you guys were thinking about these three things? How many of you guys? Probably none, because you guys couldn't even say it. You're not thinking about it because you didn't say it. So hold on. Burn! All right, you can say that. Okay. Look, if you're not thinking about it, how do I know you're not thinking about it? Because you didn't say it. What chance do you have of doing it? I like this group. Aaron, focus on them. All the studio feedback shots are on them, no matter who's talking, no matter what. Just get all those shots. Get them nice and tight on those three specifically. Okay? Then you're going to do a competitive audit, right? Now I know who we're competing against. We're actually competing against the people in the Bitcoin space and not Wells Fargo or Bank of America. So what you do is there's something called, like you're going to do a vertical analysis. Vertical. So I might try not to split my pants or they're kind of tight. And then you do horizontal, okay? Horizontal, meaning in industries that are not related to this at all. So we're going to look at all the banks, the verticals, and we're going to look at the horizontal. Like, what's Apple doing? What's Google doing? What are people that are not even related because we can learn something from what they're doing? What is Uber or Airbnb doing? Okay? So we can draw ideas from that. That's why we're looking at research to solve this problem. There's a good quote from the book, Creative Strategy. I'm going to not try to do the quote. It's written by Douglas Davis. And there's something he says, I realize that aesthetics are not a compelling reason for a business to change their operation. So I need to learn the language of business so I can provide a better reason as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. Does that make sense? When somebody's going to spend $100 million saying it's cool, it's what the kids like, is not a very compelling reason. All right? And then what somebody had said, I think Zach said it, well, in his story, it's like, I'm looking for customer feedback. Because what you think you're saying and doing, your customers are telling us a whole different story. Okay? Oh, we love our employees. This is our free-range humans here. Everybody gets to do what they want and be super creative. Then you go talk to them like, oh, what an oppressive regime. I hate my job and I can't wait. 6:59, my computer's already shut down. You know, it's like, pfft, I'm out the door. I can't wait to get out of here because I'm working on my side job, trying to get out of this place. I don't know. So culture, brand, character, they're all the same. Just different words. Old school word, overused, wrong application word, and culture. Tony Hsieh, you guys know who Tony Hsieh is? He's the founder of Zappos. You know where you guys spend all your money on shoes, or at least where my wife does. Zappos. He says, forget brand. He says, forget brand. Get the culture right, and the brand will follow. You cannot have a toxic culture and have a positive brand. It just does not work. And he has a story about how that works too. Okay? Make sense? Get the culture right. All right. You guys know who Tony Hsieh is now? Yeah? Read his book. It's called Delivering Happiness. So you see now we're starting to get into something that doesn't look like it's from design school anymore. What we're going to do is talk about business goals and revenue repositioning and awareness. We're going to do competitive audits to understand what we can learn from these companies and how we can advise our client. There's not even an aesthetic here. We're talking about business things. What can we learn? Okay? We're going to go do customer feedback. We're going to talk to real life customers and we're going to troll the forums to see what they're saying when people don't think they're listening. We're going to go onto Facebook. We're going to read reviews. We're going to go into Yelp. We're going to read everything that people are saying, good and bad.
So Chris,
Yes, sir.
From character and brand, we also have to use empathy, right? So the context of empathy within this conversation we're having about it, right? Where does that empathy reside to you?
Where does empathy reside?
Yeah, in terms of, we're talking about brand, we're talking about the goals, the revenue, repositioning, awareness, custom, journey, and so forth, right?
Yes.
So what about empathy?
Okay, I love these big, broad, open-ended questions because it gives me room to maneuver. And if I don't get it right, Dave, you read,
I know. This is the pretty broad. This
Yeah.
empathetic based approach is quite different and unique, and because that opens up a whole new set of discoveries and also observations you have to do, right? And they may not align well with your business model, business goals.
All right.
Right?
Where is it here? The word trust was here, right? Let's talk about trust. We trust people who believe what we believe. Okay? So here's you and there's me. Okay? And empathy says, I feel what you feel. I feel what you feel. I want what you want. Sadly, broad statement, get me in a little bit of trouble. Designers are terrible at empathy. They're terrible because a lot of designers I know are very self-centered. Okay? Self-centered. Like, I like this font. I like these colors. This is what Lux means to me. And every brand, every client that comes through the door, you're going to get the treatment. The treatment is you get what I do. Okay? We're not Picasso. We're not Cleon Peterson. We're not just doing our art. We're here to solve a problem. And so there could be a whole class on teaching you guys how to empathize with the other person. I have an exercise I do in my class, right? I give them a character they cannot be. Let's just say you're a 1,000-year-old being from outer space. How do you see the world? What do you say? What do you think? And we just sit down and we just like turn off the lights and we just think. And I say, here's the situation. I'm going to throw a scenario at you. Tell me how you behave and think. What do you do? And they fail. They fail pretty hard because all their answers sound just like them. Okay? This is the whole saying, try walking in my shoes before you judge me. And that's always something I try to aspire to think about before I just totally cut somebody down. Then I cut them down, but I think about that first, right? I sit there and like, oh yeah, you had a hard life, and yeah, so what? So what? We all have. Okay? Right?
Well,
No tissues here,
well,
right?
I asked that question
Empathy.
because it's kind of wrapping around what you said, very first thing you said, 51% rule, right? Being empathetic to what other person's in situation, right? Situation that goes on there. How do you show that? You know, and you also brought about a United Airlines. The CEO, I think his name is Oscar Munoz or whatever. I mean, he tweeted out something about some obnoxious thing, right? I mean, that did not come across as someone who was very caring about the individual. You know what I mean? And so, you know, part of overall branding, the character, the trust, right? Giving, right? It kind of resides, it circles around the word empathetic, being empathetic to other individuals. So if you care about your client, what their goals are, really truly needs are, putting your side of your egos and whatever you need to do, your job is to solve that problem by way of using that word. And you know, what's that process? What's that step that you need to do? Right?
Here's the test. Here's the true test. When you have a client, if you are willing to do what's best for your client and what's not good for you, then you truly have empathy for them. You're acting as a fiduciary for them. When you act in the best interest of your client and not for yourself. For example, let's just say, what's your name again? Sam. Sam is the best logo designer on this planet. Let's just say he is. And he does that so well. Sam's just going to kill it, right? And Sam doesn't do anything else. He doesn't do web design. He doesn't do editorial, like who likes editorial, right? He doesn't do packaging, just does a logo, and he's killer at it. Yeah, I have seen your portfolio. He is like this generation's Paul Rand, a one-man killing machine when it comes to logo, okay? That's Sam. We're painting a fictional narrative here, just for context. Maybe rooted in reality, I don't know. And then a client comes to him and is like, Sam, we love your work. You're amazing. Chris says you're amazing. Everybody says you're amazing, right? Amazeballs. Here we go. And they talk about their problem. He talks about the business goals and all that kind of stuff. And like, we want you to redesign a new logo. But then he starts digging around. He starts listening to customer feedback. And it actually has nothing to do with the logo. This is when Sam steps up to the plate and says, you know, you have $1 million. I would love to take your money. I'd love more than anything just to take this and give you an awesome logo because I can make you a better logo. However, after I've done my process, I've realized what you need is you need new customer service agents, you need a new website, and you need some literature around this new campaign. Sadly, this is not what I do. But you should call Chris and he'll help you out. That's when you know Sam is in service of the client and not himself. That's how you know. That's the true test. If you're willing to put your own personal, selfish, financial, creative goals aside and put the client first, something really wonderful happens though. Sam says to the client, go work with Chris. He hires us. We do a great job. And the client's thrilled. How do you think the client feels about Sam?
They're going to remember him.
For what?
For being honest and transparent.
For being honest and transparent and for...
Showing empathy.
Huh? Showing empathy. This is a trustworthy dude. Now, think about that, you guys. Now, he may have lost a job, but he may have gained a customer for life. That's my feeling. Okay. Cut?
What he did was point them in the right direction.
He just said, like, I hear your problem. I understand it. I'm not the guy. I'm going to give you my resources. Please use them. Think about me in the future when you have a great logo that you need, or a logo that you need to have redesigned. I would love to do that for you. Okay? Now, I know you have a thing. I want you guys to think about this for a minute. There is a strategy you can use. And the first strategy is to tell all your potential customers, you don't need me, you don't want this, you can't afford it. You don't need me, you don't want this, and you can't afford it. There is a strategy, and I use it myself. Because all of a sudden it's like, this guy, it's very disarming. Doesn't want to sell me anything, says whatever I need, it probably is not something that we do. Whatever it is, it's like I have nothing to sell. Now, instead of us looking at each other like this, face to face, right? We're going to look at the problem together, side by side. And there's a big difference there. We are going to stand shoulder to shoulder as collaborators and try to figure out the problem. Versus, I hear something, I'm going to sell you something. I hear something, I'm trying to sell you something. Very clear. Now, just as a little detour, and then we're going to get to you. A little detour here is there's this book. It's called The Pickup Artist. You guys should read it for psychological things, you know. They say for guys, it teaches guys on how to hit on girls, okay? And it says that in a street, in a random encounter, the last thing you want to do is head-on confrontation. Like, oh my God, hey, you're amazing. That puts people at like, whoa, what? Right? Right? Even creepier is the tap on your back. Hey, hi, how you? Whoa, what? Right, exactly. Get away from me, right? Or like that's when you do the judo flip or whatever, right? And what's the best way to approach a girl? From the side. From the side. So you walk like this and you don't make eye contact. You're just like, hey, whatever. So I'm not a threat to you. I'm not even interested in you. I'm looking over there. That's how you do it. Now you know.
Yeah.
Side. That's how we work together. That's how you're not coming on too aggressive. Okay? Somebody asked me on the internet yesterday. It's like, I created an ad. It says, call me now, 50% off your first logo. He says, why isn't this working? Super desperate, dude. I don't know you. There's no establishment, and you've already said, my prices are too high because I'm willing to give it to you for half off. All right? Think about this in a retail model. In the retail space, when a clothing retailer has 50% off sales, what does that do to you? It trains you never to buy full price. And unfortunately, this is what's happened to all retailers now. Okay, ever since this recession and this online shift towards buying things online, retailers have no more tools. They've gone to the discounting tool, and that's a losing proposition. Okay? So the question is, what's the price at the Gap? It's always 30 to 50% off now. And so if I bought it at 100%, I'm not going to buy it again. She has a question.
I agree with that. So you build trust with the client, but then also in the story that we were talking about, Sam would also build trust with you, and you would build trust with Sam, right?
That's right.
So then that in the future, could that possibly create him jobs as well with you if you can't do that? Like what they're asking for, the customer? Or would you ever bring him in as like a collaborative job? Is that
Well, let me tell you how this works. Because you're thinking this is very painful. Sam just gave Chris $1 million lead. This is what we call a hot lead. It's not a cold lead. They're ready to spend money. He's already determined how much money, and they're ready to move fast. So that's a hot lead. What Sam will do is like, Chris, I have a client. It may or may not be a good fit for you. If it is a good fit, service them well, please. Okay? And I would love a finder's fee if you provide one. Done. Hands washing hands, that kind of thing. We're all good. You got it?
Yeah.
I would like a finder's fee. I give work out to lots of people all the time. Somebody comes in, I just hand it off. I need a freelancer. I need this. I need that. And so I just move things around. That's just done for goodwill. I would probably have a lot more money in my bank account if I charged every single time. But you guys should do that. That should be a part of your business mindset. When somebody gives you a lead, you should think, I need to pay them for the lead. I need to put enough money in the budget so I can pay them for that. Because reps, sales reps, work on a commission. They make anywhere between, depending on who you're talking to, between 5 to 18%. Okay? Some make 25%. If you're talking about a Hollywood agent, they make a lot of money. Not that much, but they make a lot of money. Okay? So you should get into the idea, like we pay for sales leads. So when you book the job, you send money back. That's how you guarantee you get more leads. It's the right thing to do. Reciprocity. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's a real business relationship. We're not talking about the kindness of strangers.
Okay.
Okay? Cool?
Yeah.
All right.
Chris, you know,
Yes, sir.
we could probably spend, you know, hours. You know, this is why I love this guy, you know, Chris, and he's not, and I told you guys that he's such a generous guy. You know, he's busy, but, you know, over the years that I've known Chris, you know, all the things that he's able to build and design and reshape, he's been very true. He's you know, I call him my mentor. You know, he coaches me on a lot of things. So it's a really a treat for me to come out here with you guys and share, you know, obviously not only his you know, business mind, but also who he is as a character, as an individual. So we want to thank you. And then what we want to do maybe next time, really pick up a conversation about creative confidence, and what does that mean, you know, and how do we deploy that as a designer, aspiring designer. So can
Thank
we
you, Dave.
give Chris a big round of applause, please?
Thanks, guys. I was going to say, in terms of the subject of confidence, I will say this, is that I've laid out plans. We make courses. We've done probably 160 or 170 videos now. But it all comes back down to this thing. Somewhere inside, remember that fractured psyche? There's something deep inside some of you, many of you, that says, I'm not worth it, I'm not deserving of this, period. And the thing I keep finding out is this feeling of guilt. A great feeling of guilt to charge people money for the things that you derive pleasure from. Okay? Think about that. This comes natural to you. Some of you draw, some of you guys paint, some of you guys like to code sites and things like that. If somebody wasn't paying you, this is what you'd be doing. And then when a client says, we'll pay you, you're like, oh, I don't know. I guess I only worked on it for 3 hours. And is this okay? Kind of, right? Do you think Kobe Bryant, do you think LeBron James feels 1 ounce of guilt for doing the things that they love? Think about that for a second. So why is it okay for Jack Nicklaus to play golf and Serena Williams to play tennis and all these people, or poker players to make millions of dollars doing, like, gambling, basically, that's what they do. But when it comes to designers, we have this guilt thing. This thing that says, and I get attacked by people all over the internet. It's like, you're just about the money, this is wrong, you're such an a-hole, this and that. They just come up, it's like, why you talk about money so much? It's like, you know what? One of the things that I want to do, my practice of, my act of random kindness, my random act of kindness, is to try to help creative people just like you, to empower you to have a different mindset so that you are paid what you're worth. Now, there's a lot of unlearning that must be done. Deep, deep stuff. Okay? And that's what I hope for you guys, to understand your relationship, and then confidence will come.